We all know about the concept of nostalgia. Hollywood movies won't let us get away from it. But what if I told you that there was more to nostalgia than just remembering how Pizza Hut used to be the place you would take your family out to dinner, or how dirty Casey Jones did Shredder at the end of the Ninja Turtles movie? My name is Albert, and in this video, we're going to go over 3 ways I'm starting to think better about things by developing a nostalgia for the future. Okay, now the concept of nostalgia for the future is not something that I came up with myself. I got it from an amazing book called Psycho-Cybernetics written by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. I highly recommend that book. But there was a really interesting concept in there about developing a nostalgia for the future that really resonated with me, and I started thinking about how I could really implement something like that in my life. One of the first ways I can think of is using something like that to change my behaviors and beliefs. Using an example of negative self-talk, going again back to, being hard on myself when I play video games or something like that. Rather than go down that avenue of beating myself up, I think about how cool it would be to evolve past that, to become the type of person that is more patient with themselves and is more encouraging and doesn't give themselves such a hard time for being anything less than perfect. When I think about that, I start to elicit feelings and emotions about how accomplished I would feel, how rewarding it would be to be able to do the work to get to that place. I begin to ask myself, well, what would that look like? What steps would I actionably take to become that person? My subconscious starts to give me those answers. And before long, I'm more thinking about how to become the person I'm aspiring to be than beating myself up like I used to. It's an incredible concept that sounds amazingly simple, but just asking myself these questions and thinking about things in this way has really helped me out. Another way that I'm using nostalgia for the future is when it comes to sticking to my goals. Let's say hypothetically, I wanted to run a marathon. If I were to use nostalgia for the future in this way, I would think about all of the effort it would take to be able to develop the endurance to actually be able to run that marathon, how hard of a challenge that would be, and how amazing it would feel to finally cross that finish line. I then extrapolate that from times I've overcome other really difficult challenges and how rewarding that felt. And I kind of pair those two concepts together, and it gives me a lot of inspiration and motivation to act and to begin to take steps on a consistent basis to actually make these things a reality. I do this twice a day. Once when I wake up, and before I go to bed, I just think about my goals and I just marry them up to the idea of nostalgia and remembering past successes and looking forward to enjoying the future success of accomplishing these goals. Over time, I've only been doing this for a couple of weeks now, but even in that short amount of time, I do feel it's helping me to stick to my goals, to think about them more often, and it's easier to avoid distractions this way. Emotions and imagination are very transformational powers that can really shift your perspective and how you look at things. Using the concept of nostalgia through these two lenses has really helped me develop a certain sense of optimism and hope towards the aspiration of my goals. But one thing that I've really come to appreciate about thinking about nostalgia for the future is how I actually react to things that can sometimes annoy me. Let's say, for example, something really annoying happens at work and it's frustrating to me. In the past, I would just deal with that frustration in one way or the other. But when I think about the concept of nostalgia for the future, rather than go down that avenue of being frustrated and annoyed, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the day that I won't have to deal with this stuff anymore. I can look forward to the next job that I want to have. I can look forward to the end of the day. I can look forward to the next thing that I'm really excited about, be it the weekend or just having a good dinner or whatever. The more I focus on those things, the less I focus on the negative emotions of being frustrated and annoyed. And I'm just able to better manage my emotions and get myself through the day. I think it's really easy to be nostalgic for the past and remember previous chapters where you think you were a lot happier or things were a lot better. But it's a very new concept and very intriguing to me to use that sense of reminiscing about something better than the present moment for the future instead of the past. I think the more that I'm able to focus on that, the more I will continue to foster this concept of optimism and hope, and it overall just make me a happier person. Again, the concept of nostalgia for the future is from the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, an amazing book that I highly recommend. I'll put a link to it down into the description below if you want to check it out. But what do you think? I feel like I'm really on to something by using this concept and implementing it into my day-to-day life. I would love to know what you think about it. But until then, my name is Albert. This has been On to Something, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.